here. I can see him already. With vine leaves in his hair, flushed and fearless. And then you see, then he will have regained control over himself. Then he will be a free man for all his days. I want for once in my life to have the power to mold a human destiny. I have never had the power, and now I want it desperately. Damn it! Barbara speaking. No, he's not, Phil. I expected him over an hour ago. Did the team lose? Well, then you know he's probably at the lounge drowning his sorrow. I know, and you know, and everybody with rational sense knows they're only kids and it's only a little league team, but Victor's too rational these days. What? The umpire's going to sue him? Victor hit him in the mouth with a catcher's mitt? How can he sue us for that? A front tooth? No, I know it's a bad example for the kids, but he just gets so involved. All right, call him around 7 and you can catch him before we go to the theater. Hedda Gabler. No, it's not a racy play. I play Hedda, of course. No, it's not a funny name in Norwegian. That's right, tonight's opening night. $10. All right, call at 7, Phil. He should be here. Moron. I want for once in my life to have the power to mold a human destiny. No. I'm sorry, Mr. Wiener. My husband's not here. God almighty. I know. I'm sure your son's as good a hitter as anyone on the team, but I'm sorry. I don't know why Victor doesn't play him more. Now, Mr. Wiener, calm down. That is not true. That is simply ridiculous. My husband's not anti-Semitic. Good God, you're acting like a child, Mr. Wiener. Look, I'm very busy right now. Call him tomorrow and talk to him yourself because I have to hang up. Yes, I know. Yes. Okay, bye. Bye, Mr. Wiener. First you shall have a cup of tea, you little goose. And then at 10 o'clock, Eilert Lovberg will be here with vine leaves in his hair like a young Greek god power incarnate. Hello? No, he's not in right now. May I ask who's calling? Mrs. Martin? Oh, you're Jeffrey's mother? Well, certainly paying attention to his mind rather than sports is okay. He hasn't played all year. They call him Mary Jane. How cruel. All he needs is a little encouragement. Yes, all the kids do look up to him. That's right, I play Hedda Gabler. We have a 2-week run. Valentine's is our last performance. Okay, sure, come try see it if you can. Alrighty, bye-bye now. Oh! Barbara speaking. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Toomey. My husband's not here, and I don't know when he'll be in. I gathered it was in relation to your son. Is that so? Really? Well, I don't know why Victor only plays your son 2 innings a game. Maybe he's afraid your son will have a heart attack if he plays him any more than 2 innings. A friend, I've had it up to here.
Hello. Mr. Toomey. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah? Well, let me tell you something. Your son, he cracks under pressure. He can't take the pressure. He's a toilet ball player. After that, his nerves go to pieces.
Oh, God.
Yeah, well, nobody likes to hear the truth, Mr. Toomey. Fine, so do that. Take him off the team. Send him to the tennis courts. Send him to dance school. He's very graceful. Nobody's casting aspersions on anything. I said he'd be a better dancer than a ball player, that's all. Hey, Mr. Toomey, go to hell!
Nerves going to pieces. Victor, he's only an 11-year-old child.
He's a shaky kid. He doesn't have it in here.
He's just a baby.
By the time he's 16, he'll be on tranquilizers.
You are hard to believe, Victor Spinelli. You're just too much.
Am I, Greta? Listen. You save the actor for the stage, all right?
I will. I certainly will. If you'll save your antics for the boxing ring.
No! Who called?
That moron Phil. The man's gonna sue us, Victor.
Let him sue, honey. I really laid one on that loud mouth. Bam! His ears almost fell off.
There are other ways of settling disputes than hitting someone in the mouth with a catcher's mitt.
What catcher's mitt? I hit him with my fist. This fist. Closed just like this, and I hit him like so.
Really? Then Phil must have made a mistake because he said you hit him with a catcher's mitt.
Listen, sweetie, I don't need weapons.
Mrs. Martin must be mistaken too. She said you hit him with a catcher's mitt and she was there.
Who's Mrs. Martin?
Her son plays on your team. I believe he's the one who sits at the end of the bench alone.
Oh, Mary Jane. Mrs. Martin's Mary Jane's mother.
No, she's Jeffrey's mother. That boy adores you and you wouldn't even give him the time of day. He's deeply hurt by all this juvenile name-calling. She called to talk to you about it. She's very upset.
You want to know the truth? I gave the kid a suit, right? A gift. Because he's so bad, it's unbelievable. But I felt sorry for this skinny, bloodless kid, and I put him on the team. And I let him bat once. Just once. The first game I let him bat, and I thought that kid would pee all over home plate. 1, 2, 3. And he came back and sat at the end of the bench, and that's where he's staying till the end of the season.
Well, she's going to call you tomorrow. Use a little tact when you talk to her, please.
Oh, I'll charm the pants right off of her.
Figuratively speaking, of course.
Is there any other way?
Put a little juice in you and you're just a wit.
You know, I think I'll try out for one of your plays. I'll probably electrify everyone.
Well, Stephen was thinking of doing the hairy ape.
Is it a good role? Would I be a hero?
Victor, you wouldn't have to memorize a line. Just walk out there and burp and belch and scratch.
Forget it. I don't think I get along with that faggoty friend of yours.
Stephen's not a faggot. He's a gentleman and an excellent director.
He's also an excellent faggot.
Don't tell me. I worked with a man for 6 months.
And I saw a guy for 6 minutes. And I'm telling you, he's sweet. Come on, baby. That tight ass, little walk, holding his cigarette like a baton, ascots lifting. Come on, baby. He's 3 feet off the ground. Flies around like a little bird. You're looking for a nest.
It's just so you, Victor, to mistake breeding and culture for something crude.
Fine, so he's read a few books. Went to NYU. Uses $100 words. Fine. Live and let live. That's my philosophy. But I wouldn't take a shower with him. That's all I'm saying.
You're just jealous of him.
Jealous of him? Come on! Stop! Look, listen. If he was Adam and you were ever Eve, you'd still be in the garden eating alone.
Why do you resent people with intelligence and ability and class? People who have exciting minds, people who can think and feel beyond all the rest of your ordinary, drab, beer belly friends.
Because my beer belly friends are not fake. They don't fake laughs, fake words, and fake smiles. And they don't wear their pants 5 sizes too small. Does that answer your question?
I know what it is. I know why the people from the theater bother you so.
Oh, yeah.
Because they make you feel stupid. They make you feel awkward and nervous and stupid. They make you feel just like that little Martin boy because you almost pee in your pants every time I have them over here.
Are you serious? Come on!
It's true. Last week when the group was here and we were all talking about books and Stephen asked you if you had ever read Proust and you said sure all the time, that he was one of your favorite writers. Everybody just froze with embarrassment. Just absolutely went rigid with embarrassment. Because they knew you never even heard of Proust, let alone read him. God, it was humiliating.
Shit! I know! I went to college! I know Proust is! Proust! Prousty!
You graduated with a business degree from NYU. I don't call that going to college. And that even took you 6 years to get.
Well, that's just too goddamn bad about you and your intellectual friends. Sitting around talking about booze. Sitting around drinking all my liquor, drinking all my booze, and talking about that guy. That guy that, he ended up a drunk. They made a movie about
F. Scott Fitzgerald had terrifying problems.
it. Sure he did. And one of them was alcohol. And the other guy, the one that shot himself in the mouth with his shotgun. Hemingway. There you are. Sitting there, talking about a drunk and a suicide. Talking like crazy. Oh, he was so marvelous.
Oh, what perception.
What depth? Depth! Van Gool depth! These two guys, they couldn't even face life. One drabs his scotch, the other one splatters his brains all over the living room. So what's all the cheering about?
Please, don't use yourself as a model for life-facing Victor.
Hey, I stare right in the face, baby. I don't sit around talking about how other people face it, because I face it every day of my life. I think my thoughts. I don't steal them from books. I don't sit around picking dead men's brains for ideas so I can try to impress a bunch of people who are not going to be impressed because they're too busy trying to impress me. You know what I noticed about your little sewing circle the other night? Everybody talked and nobody listened. Everybody sat around doing monologues and nobody gave a good goddamn what anybody else was saying.
And you just sat back there, like Buddha, like a big fat Buddha, silly grin and all, and said nothing.
Right.
Just like you sit back there and you say nothing every time your father comes to this house.
Let's leave my father out of this, Barbara.
No, let's not. Let's really clear the air. You can face anything, right? Old King Kong Spinelli can face a little thing like the truth. Do you know that you are terrified of your father just as you are terrified of my friends?
You're gonna say that once too often, and I'm gonna knock you right on your fat, bitchy ass.
Do you have your catcher's mitt ready?
Keep it up, mouth. My relationship with my father's my business, not yours.
It's very much my business when he comes in here telling me how to run my
He
house.
tells you nothing.
No? How come when he arrives here for his semi-monthly visit, he has the nerve to ask me if I'm pregnant yet? He doesn't ask anymore. He demands it. Are you pregnant yet? He gives me that Neanderthal look and I'm afraid to say no.
He wants a grandchild, so what?
He's got 2 from your sister and 1 from your brother. What does he want, an army of grandchildren?
He wants a boy. He's from the old country. He wants a name continued, all right?
He's from the old country, all right.
All right, you said enough.
I just want to tell him we're living our lives separate from his. He's not going to terrorize me into having a child before I want one.
How you gonna have a child, Barbara? You got a little piece of steel up there between your legs, remember?
Tell him then about the coil.
He's old-fashioned. He wouldn't understand about that.
Well, your father and I are going to come to an understanding. What is he going to do? Stop his annual donation to us? Cut you out of the share of the company? Fire you?
He'd be very hurt.
He had the nerve to ask me to go to a specialist to see if I could make babies. Make babies!
We've been married for 5 years. It's a legitimate question, for Christ's sakes.
The man owns us.
I do a good job for him. We're paying our own way.
Victor, that is not true. Not really.
Look, they accepted my new advertising line. Spinelli gives you the sauciest spaghetti. The old man was delighted with that line. We might even put it to music.
Accepting it and using it are 2 different things.
He'll use it, I know it.
He accepted Spinelli, the sauce that made spaghetti famous. But did he use it? No, he used Spinelli's spaghetti instead, which was Bob's suggestion, but I tell everybody it was yours.
You don't have to do that.
Victor, this is insane, honey! I'd leave here tomorrow with you if you'd go back to the city and start with Harry again. Face the facts, Victor. Here in your father's firm, you will always be a lackey, the son of the boss.
I face the facts, but I'm gonna prove to the old man that I can carry my share of the weight of the company.
For Christ's sake! You've been trying to prove something to your father for the past 30 years. You thought he wanted you to be a baseball player. You tried it. You know what happened. You thought he wanted you to be a doctor. You flunked out. You did everything he wanted you to and nothing you wanted. You keep telling yourself lies, pretending you're important to the company.
Don't talk to me about lies. Don't tell me about daydreams.
And what does that mean?
That means that this stupid community play acting has gone straight to your head. Dance lessons on Thursday. Speech lessons on Monday. And you're not going to New York with any faggot to see any agent about any commercials. Do you understand?
That agent is coming to the show tonight at Steven's request. And if he likes my work, I'm going to New York and read for anything that might come up.
He's coming to see the show tonight. Ha ha! Well, you can forget about New York, baby, because tonight the dream's over. Bye-bye, big city.
You saw a dress rehearsal last night. Dress rehearsals are never very good.
You want to know? It was so terrible. Everybody was so rotten that I almost puked. Everybody's falling all over everybody else. And that guy that plays your old lover or something, he comes in, he opens the door, and the goddamn door falls down. He's standing there with a doorknob in his hand. The agent will die laughing.
Well, if he doesn't die of laughter, if by some small miracle he decides to get me work, I am going to New York. Do you understand?
You know where your talent is? Your talent is in your boobs. Everybody goes to see your enormous boobs. I'm not kidding. Your boobs come on stage first and then you follow. That should be your stage name, Old Barbara Boobs. Old Bullet Breasts.
Thank you for your confidence in me, Victor. But I'm still going to New York.
You go to New York, never come back to my house.
Whose house?
Mine! This house is mine. My house!
You know, this play acting started as just a simple diversion. An escape from all the sterility that surrounds me. Just a little exercise of female vanity. But it's become all I have, Victor. It's a necessity. And you're right, it's a daydream, but it's mine. And no one gave it to me, so I'm not afraid of anybody taking it away. And as things stand right now, it may very well be the most important thing in my life.
You go to New York, never come back to this house again. You understand?
I am through sitting with your father and you every third Thursday like clockwork. Sitting in this living room, listening to the damn grieving voice of Caruso for 3 hours. I am done inflicting that torture upon myself. And I shall go in and finish getting dressed for the theater.
Hello! Yeah! Look, Phil, nobody calls me a wop, you understand? No, with my fist! Phil, the mitt was in the other hand! I know it doesn't look good for the league. What? What do you mean fire? You can't fire me! I'm the sponsor, remember? My old man bought the jackets, the balls, the bats. I own the team! You did. My old man said that. My old man said what? No! I don't want to coach the 8 to 10-year-olds. Christ, that's like being shipped to the minors. No hard feelings. I'll see you around.
If you drive me down to the theater now, you'll still have time to come back and get dressed.
I'm not going to the theater.
Where's the keys? You know what I think? We've simply outgrown each other. After 5 years together, I have to remind myself.
Hey, I never made love to you. I never made love to you without getting that feeling that you were defending yourself against something, and that's not booze talking either.
I'm going to the party. I'll be very late.
Have a nice time. O'Neill! Mailer! Stanislavski! Hemingway! Bruce! Burn the books! Big book burning party! Where's a match? This is a baseball. It's a very special baseball. It's a special baseball because it was hit by Lou Gehrig on June 14th, 1939 into the left field D box seats at Yankee Stadium. Present among the other 30,000 people were me and my father. You see, my father loved baseball, and he loved Lou Gehrig. And on that Sunday, Lou Gehrig, not even knowing my father loved him, not even suspecting my father loved him like a son, not even knowing my father was at the game, Lou Gehrig hit this baseball right into my father's lap. It was the first and last time I ever believed in God. My father was in a trance. It was a miracle. After the game, me and my father, we waited outside the stadium until it was empty and it was almost dark. My father said not one word. Me and my father waited alone in the darkness for Lou Gehrig. Finally, he came out. And my father went over and spoke to him in Italian. And then Lou Gehrig did the most amazing thing. Lou Gehrig did the most incredible thing. He hugged my father. And I remember I started to cry just standing there watching Lou Garrett hug my father. And I don't know why, to this day, they didn't notice me though. And when Lou Garrett came over and handed me the autograph ball and shook my hand, I just smiled up at him. And to this day, I still don't know what my father said to Lou Garrett outside Yankee Stadium in the dark. It's a funny feeling even now, you know? And when Lou Garrett died, a few years later, the day Lou Garrett died, my father cried. It was the first and last time I ever saw my father cry. Even when they lowered my mother in the ground, his face was dry. Even when the big league scouts came to see me play, and I struck out 3 times, and they wanted nothing to do with me. He said nothing. But the day Lou Garrett died, when he heard the news, he said one thing. Lou Garrett did not die of cancer. He died of a broken heart. Those are the exact and only words he said on that day. Isn't it incredible that my father could be so hurt by the death of a stranger? Someone he never even